I prefer to work every day on my dream than to dream when I work.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to Anyone and Anywhere podcast. So today we have my friend Carlinhos Ferreira. How are you, my friend?
Hi, I'm very good. How are you, Vasco?
I'm really nice. Thank you for asking. So let me do just a quick presentation about Carlinhos. So he's a karate athlete, singer, actor, and is also currently living in Mexico and studying mechanical engineer and also theater. That is a nice mix
Yeah.
that we will talk about it.
Yeah.
So I think we will start for that. How are you today? How is everything with your family in the current time?
Everything's everything is doing good. School is different, because everything is online now, and so I don't know. Some classes pass by very quickly and some slowly, but everything's going well. I just had a delicious pasta for lunch. What about you?
Nice. I had some pasta. Yes, I had some pasta also for dinner here in Berlin
Okay.
now.
Yes. How many hours difference?
So here it's 11:10 in the night. I don't know
Okay.
there.
So here is 4:10
Okay, so it's perfect.
in the
It's
afternoon.
okay. Perfect time to join,
Quite a lot.
to have a nice conversation. So I wanted now, if it's possible for the peoples and for myself also that still don't know you, if you can tell me a little bit about yourself, about your background.
For sure. So my name is Carlinhos, which means little Charles or Charlie in Portuguese. I am both Mexican and Brazilian, and I am currently living in Mexico. Um, what I like to do is I study engineering, and I also study theater, and I like to sing. And I have this new project in which I create content to give value to other people. But since I'm not an expert in life or I'm not a life coach, I just tell it from my perspective. Um, so it's like sharing personal stories and reflections and seeing how that can impact other people. And and yeah, like using every opportunity I have um, to bring good to the world as you do. Like you share stories with people and create valuable content. So that was like something really interesting I found about you. And yeah, that's about it. So if you like any of the content we make to here today, feel free to check it out. It's all with a purpose to help.
Beautiful start. And tell me a little bit about the mix between the mechanical engineer and theater. How it's
Mm.
that something so logical and the otherwise something so creative.
Yeah. Okay. So the thing is, mechanical engineering I liked a lot. I like a lot because I've always liked to build and design and actually see what I do in a physical way. So I studied mechanical engineering and not other engineerings because that's something I like, to see what I do, right? And to actually to understand it, it helps me a lot if I can visualize it. And the combination with theater is that I'm also a person that likes to get involved with every like explorable area of life. And so how it all happened was in high school. Um, I don't know if we're gonna talk about this later, but
Please,
um,
you can talk it now.
okay. In high school, um, the first year I was very insecure. I didn't know who I was, what I wanted to do, if I had chosen the right school, um, and I cared too much about other people's opinions, and it was just like. But I did know one thing: I wanted to explore and try as many things as I could. So in the first year, I went into different sports I have never tried, or I also went into a robotics team or a Formula One in schools competition, and like like a few different things that I would have never done. But on the second year, I was like, okay, it was a challenge. I was kind of feeling fear and everything, but I liked it. I liked the fact that I could like challenge myself to go through that and try new things. And I also knew that in 2 years I was gonna have to choose what I wanted to study. And so knowing that I wanted to try new things, face fears, and also understand what I wanted to do for a living, well, that's what I did. I tried like too many things. Like I went into singing, I went into dancing, I went into like robotics, like everything you can think of. I probably like I even went into an article writing team for a newspaper. It was like crazy, a lot of stuff. But then in that moment, after experiencing it for the second and third year, I was able to determine that I loved art and the way of acting and singing because it helped me grow as a person, which is something very interesting. Because let's say, for example, you're gonna play a character, you have to have full empathy for the character. And when you do that, you allow yourself to feel and to explore and to like actually put yourself in other positions, you know? And that enables you to like act different and think different. And I also love like the power that music has to make us feel happy or sad or like it's something that really catalyzes our emotions. So I like to be in touch with that. And in the engineering part, on my second year, I was able to be a leader on one of the robotics team duties, and I was the only one in my generation with such a position, and I was really scared, but it worked out so well that I fell in love with it. And the competitions were like actually three robots against three robots, and it's like it was like a game with real robots. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. But then I could see like I liked both. So maybe I could have chosen one or the other. And I decided to go and try both in whichever way I could. So yeah, that's about what I would share from that is like today, if you start trying new things, even if it's just 10 minutes a day, and let's say you split up 1 hour into 6 10 minute slots, that could be like really quickly, and you try new things, and you can like experience if you really like doing one of those things, and if you don't, like just take it away and try to put a new thing. And once you find what you love and makes you feel so like all the emotions and happy, that's where I would advise to go. So yes, small short answer.
No man, and let me tell you so much that I took from this short answer, so much knowledge, and at the same time so much questions. The first of all, and what I love that I think that all of us should take of it, and I think that you agree with me. It's about finding your purpose, your passions, what you love to do, as you want to call it. Just try it. I love that.
Yes,
I
yes.
love that.
If
My
you
question.
wait,
Tell me,
yeah.
tell me, tell
if
me,
you,
tell
if
me.
you wait until you're prepared for this new thing, like it's probably never gonna happen. You're never ready. It's just I have this one tip, and it's one of my secrets and pressure. I'm gonna repeat that. I have one trick that is one of the tools I use that is most precious to me, and I call it the 3 second rule. And what it means is like you want to do something, you know you want to do it, but you think too much. So you're like, I want to do it, but what if this happens, and what if I fail? What if I don't like it? What if? And so you start thinking and thinking and thinking, and you don't do anything. What the 3 second rule does is like, you want to do it, you count 1, 2, 3. You go ahead and just do it. But the thing about that rule is you can never, ever once, not fulfill it. It's like an oath you have to make with yourself. It even helps, like sometimes when I'm in bed and I'm like, I don't want to like stand up. I want to just rest all day long because whatever happened, I count 3 and I get up out of bed, because it's a powerful way to inspire myself to take action when I don't feel like it. Um, yeah.
Love it.
Okay.
Let me
Continue.
let
Sorry.
no. This is a. I'm loving the conversation. Let me just asking, how old were you when you start thinking about just let's, because we are talking about high school, when you
Mm-hmm.
start just thinking about like I should try different thing things in life to see or to know what I love, like because I think like it's so deep and you were so young. It's
Yeah. I think I was 16 or 17. And the thing is, at that age specifically, um, and later a lot, but we care so much about what other people think. Like I remember, and it was just too much, and that was actually like a chain stopping me from doing whatever I wanted to do. I like to joke around a lot, and sometimes I'll be like too messy with people, but but before I was like, I didn't feel like if I could joke around or just like here I'm doing crazy stuff, you know. And it's kind of weird, but it's fun. It's my way of expressing myself, and before I couldn't do that. So I think the advice for people that are starting or ending elementary school and starting high school around 15 to 20, what I would recommend is like make a list of the things you like write it down. Don't wait, like 10 seconds of things you like and that you're not doing or you would like to do more. And then like set a day each week, um, or a week for each thing, and just try it out. Like go all in. And if you keep doing that for like, I don't know, 1 month or 2 months, you're probably gonna figure out what you like and what you don't. And I mean, you could try like 20 things and never like none of those will be like awesome for you. But if you never try and keep trying, the odds of you finding something that just makes you feel so alive is going to be really hard. So it takes time, it takes patience, it takes effort, but it's worth it, because otherwise you'll just do something you don't love in life, right? Yeah,
completely
I
right,
think
man.
that's
For me, I just took a couple more years to to come to the same conclusion. That's why I'm amazed, and I'm amazed with your present as a person, and I completely understand you. Like the point of being yourself and trying to belong to a group. It's it's complicated. And let me ask, because I love it, one sentence that you said it, that music, it's a catalyst for our emotions. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
yes. So you know how you're, I don't know, talking sometime with a friend, and like just a sad song pops out of nowhere, and then the mood starts to change and you get all sentimental. Or when you're like in a concert where where you hear music, or in a party you hear like, you know, it's, we as human beings, we have our senses, right? And stimulus actually changes how we perceive our surroundings. So music is stimuli. I think that's the word.
Mhm.
Um, but I like to think of it as a no filter stimuli because it just goes in, right? Mm. I think it's very important to like allow yourself to feel when you have the music. So for example, if sometimes you're feeling really, really sad and about something that just happened, what I will probably do is put on sad music, cry it out, and then 6 hours later, I'll probably feel a lot better than if I didn't do it. But sometimes it's difficult to get to that point to let your emotion flow if you're not connected daily. I have an app that I recommend. I'm gonna send it to you so you can put the tag. But
Please.
it's pretty interesting because you set it to tell you a reminder a few times a day, and it asks you, how are you feeling today? And so you fill in, like, put on the faces of the emotions you're feeling, and after doing that for like 1 month,
Mhm.
you begin to be more conscious, because when you see it you're like, how do I feel today? But otherwise you wouldn't be asking yourself that, and you could just be like, I don't know, you could be angry at someone but not actually be conscious about your anger. And
Exactly.
when you so yeah, I think music helps you empower your emotions, which it's important to be related to them and understand them, because if you do that, then you don't judge your emotions. So like if you're feeling sad, you don't judge yourself for feeling sad. You understand, you have compassion, and then from that compassion you can get fuel to pump yourself up again. So music, I really recommend having a pumped music playlist somewhere on YouTube,
Mhm.
like save the link, or in Spotify, whatever you use. And whenever you're feeling like, I don't wanna do this, I'll do it later. No, put the pumped music on and get to work.
Mhm. No, man, for me, it's completely, I completely agree with you. I will say that for me, music, it's a mood changer. It's like that playlist that everyone has, if you put it in the right moment, like, yeah,
Yes.
everything, and I like your idea. Can we talk now a little bit more about that app? First, the name of the app, and yes, the
Yes.
idea, I like it a lot. You can give me after, I will put in the description, but if you can tell me
Sure.
already the name,
1 second.
no problem.
Mm, it for iOS it's called Mood Log. Mood Log.
Mood
And
log.
I'll make sure to look for it for Android so you can share both links.
Perfect.
Um, so yeah, so everyone can make use of it. Really good tool.
Mm,
Really recommend it.
and I think like the idea behind the habit, it's really really like you said it, the self-awareness that you gain with that, it's like wow, because you lose it daily because you have so much to do, you have the mails that you have to answer, the exams, the classes, the work, the hobbies.
Exactly. Yes.
So,
Yes. And imagine it's like I don't know, drinking water. If you
mm,
start making it a habit to drink such certain amount of water a day, it just becomes automatic, and you don't have to actually think about it. So the idea is to get to the point where you're aware of yourself all the time, and that takes us to another subject, which is mindfulness.
please tell me a little bit also because I forget to tell you, but I will tell you now. You have a certification also in mindfulness.
Mindfulness. Yes.
Mindfulness. Can you tell me a little bit more about that also?
Yes. So I was fortunate enough to assist to this mindfulness session with a person that's called La Madonna, and she's like a really wise person. And the thing about mindfulness, it's It's actually a tool to help us live in peace and happiness with ourselves. And what it mindfulness means, like, to be mindful every moment. That's about the definition I could give. So um, to do this, you have to practice different things. Some of the recommended things are yoga, which I really recommend, um, meditation, and like actually reading about these subjects, because each person works a little bit different. But mindfulness is just being on the present. And the thing about mindfulness, about being on the present, is that if you truly live on the present, what happened yesterday doesn't matter. What will happen tomorrow, it doesn't matter either, because you're fully on the present. But to get to this point where you can actually train your mind to be like right here, right now, right? It takes practice, but if you achieve it, you become fearless, because there's not like what if, because there's no what if, there's like now, right? And I don't know, that really helps me be energetic all the time, like a lot of the time, because I'm fully immersed in the experience of the now. And that's also related to theater and acting. You have to, with your eyes, with your smell, with your touch, what you're hearing, like if you become conscious of everything surrounding you and of your feelings, you actually begin to understand more about yourself and what you want and what you want to be. I think the three questions that I'm trying to find, and I think it's very important that everyone here makes these questions to themselves, because most times we won't actually make them. And if we made them on the past, we probably forget about them. Three questions. Who am I? What do I want? And where do I want to be? If you wake up every day asking yourself these questions, like truly asking, you're probably going to go on Google and find answers and investigate and research. But it's also related to trying new things out, right? If you're truly curious, I don't know the word.
Curious.
Yes.
Curious.
Of knowing this, life will, like, you will act based on it. And that's enough fuel to guide you to take action. Like, I think it's sometimes, what if I never ask myself these questions and I just take the opportunities that appear in my life? And when I'm 80 years old, I figure out I never liked what I did. I didn't know my purpose. I didn't do anything for the world. What was my mission? Was I happy? Did I love what I do? I mean, these questions we must ask today, not tomorrow, today. Because if we do, then we have to first write them down so you don't forget them, but then every day search for the answer. And like I assure you that if you find your answers to these questions, life will change. So yes, that's about it. Um, you said something about an exercise, right?
Now I'm amazed. Like, I think it's a great exercise to do it. Like, just ask yourself in the morning, like, these three questions, like, and put with a reminder these questions in the morning, and like yeah, stack a habit.
That's a good idea. I hadn't thought about that. Putting it on remind. Wow. Yeah.
No, man, and yeah, I love your idea. Also, I wanted that if you can please talk me a little bit about because you say that mindfulness it's also together with yoga and meditation.
Yes.
Can you talk me a little
Okay.
bit more
Yeah.
about that?
So, for example, just to explain it from the basics, when you feel happy, how does your body behave? You're like this, right? You're like up. Sometimes, if you're really happy, you'll just start to dance or jump around, and your voice changes. And so, your body changes the way it's set up. If you're like really sad, you're gonna be down like this, and like probably your stomach can hurt, and like your eyes are tired, and like your body changes according to the emotion, right? So it works the other way around. It turns out that if you work on modifying your body, that can actually change the emotion. And that's what I love about me doing all these different things, is that in theater we're actually studying that. And so an actor can exploit an emotion, right? But if an actor exploits that emotion, thinking about the same event in life, let's say some family member died, and so every scene I have to do when I'm sad, I think about that family member. After a lot of time of thinking about this, like it's probably not going to have an impact on me as it did on the past, right? Because it's not something it's not tangible, so it changes. But our body, we can move it in a certain way anytime we want, right? So if you're like sad, you can straighten yourself up, and like you can always do it exactly the same. So if you're an actor doing the same scene 20 times, you can do it the same, and that can actually sprout an emotion. So if you think about that, it works the same in yoga or doing exercise. But yoga specifically, what it does, it releases tension that is accumulated in your body. And an easy way to explain this is, for example, if you talk to a person that is like, since he was a small kid, um, he was like mistreated by life and his friends, and like like just bullied all the time and with guilt, they'll probably have like their back like this. I mean, it's a stereotype, but it can happen, you know. So what 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 this means is like they have tensions, right? And you can actually interpret this in many ways. For every tension you have in your body, it's actually a way of seeing it. Not necessarily the case every time, but it's related.
Understand.
And so when you do yoga, you work on these tensions that are unconscious, that we all have. We all have tensions because of some emotional crisis we had in our lives or have right now, but they're not conscious. So when we do yoga and we do a certain position, like for example, I don't know, let's say you do this. If you do this and when you start to put your arm up, it hurts so much. That's probably because you have tension there. And if you start to do the exercise every day or every 2 days, we're actually treating that tension. And the thing is, like, since it's related to the feeling, you can actually, through yoga or like exercises, um, release your body from an emotional trauma or feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So if you like you feel sad a lot of the time, like doing yoga can actually have an impact. If you feel anxiety, it can also help. Like through that explanation. I don't know if I was clear.
No, for me it was pretty clear.
Okay,
And I
yes.
love the idea that you have like, and maybe I will do maybe a little conclusion and you will say if I'm mistaken. The way that is like, so we have the emotions and we have the body language that it comes with emotions that can be positive or negative. And we
Yes.
can affect that for the way that we posture ourselves. And one way to have a good posture, for example, it's yoga.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Precisely.
it's a great idea. It's a great idea, really. And I never think about. I try to do yoga now in the academy that I am. My BJJ master that I did a previous interview with him is also a yoga teacher.
Yeah.
So I try to do some exercise in the morning also to release the body, like you said.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, yoga seems boring,
Mm.
but if you learn it, like what actually all that it implies,
Mm.
it's it's a challenge. Like you have to think about your breath all the time, and I don't know. We could probably do a talk about this specifically later. I'm still learning about it, so I'm not an expert, but it has like once when I do it, it changes my whole day after doing it for a few weeks. So yeah, really recommend it.
That's really nice. And also now about the meditation. Let's talk a little bit more about the meditation. Which kind of meditation do you do? What is a normal session, a meditation session, if you can describe it?
Sure. So a meditation session can last 10 minutes to hours. It doesn't really matter. The thing is, meditation, what it does when you're starting, it's like you're just taking a break and stopping. And when you do that, like it can be a challenge because we're used to being so agitated all the time. We're working and we're doing and we're moving and we're always productive, right? And so, like, actually stopping and taking 10 minutes to do nothing. I mean, that's where most people just quit on the first 3 tries because it's like, no, this is boring, this isn't for me. But the thing is, if you keep trying it, it's really gonna help. So the technique you can do it sitting down on a chair. The the most important thing is if you do it on a chair or in the floor with your foot crossed,
Mm.
is that you keep your back straight up. Because if you keep it straight up, what it does it allows everything like all the nerves to flood it with blood and I'm not a doctor, but it helps you like heal. And since you're not doing anything, you observe. And so what happens is you start to think about things, and people usually go like, "No, don't think about that." But then you're judging what you are thinking. So what's recommended is like actually just you have this thought when you're doing this 10-minute break for the first time. You're like, okay, there it is. Okay, and you focus on the breath, but you don't judge the thought. You just observe it and let it go by focusing on the breath. And so yes, you can do it with your eyes closed. There are so many tutorials that could actually like teach you precisely, but the thing is, when you do it, the most important thing of all is your breath, because you oxygenate everything. And if you can, like, if let's say if you're having a panic attack, what happens is your breath is like really short, really short and quick. But if you're relaxed, your breath is like really slow, right? So like yoga, you can control your breath to change your emotions or your state. So one tip, if you're learning about meditation and you watch a basic tutorial, just sit down, close your eyes, breathe, wait for 10 minutes breathing. And if you're feeling you have anxiety, this is a really good tip. You lower your head a little bit. But if you're feeling like really low in energy, you put your head a bit up, glazing like over the horizon a little bit, and that actually helps you change how much like energy you have.
Do you know the why behind, or it's like why the position of the head? Because it is.
Yeah, it's related to the emotions. For example, when you're feeling low with energy, what happens is you're like this.
Hmm,
When you're happy, you're like this, right?
exactly.
And so it's that's how I would explain it in a simple way,
Okay.
because I think it's probably going to be a lot more complex, but that's about it. Like you can try it when you do it tomorrow,
Yeah.
and you'll see, like it'll probably work.
No, it's funny. It's funny because I already I do some meditation in the morning. Some breathe. I will not call it meditation. Breathing exercise. I think it's a little bit different, but it's the same concept. And I didn't. I saw that fact that the position of the head will influence the just the concentration or, or or the presence or being present. If I'm more like, if I can focus more in the center, I can be more present. If I start to lower, I start to sink, at least with me, in more things, in like, you know, the monkey thought, like the
Yeah,
monkey
monkey.
mind, monkey
Yes,
mind that it doesn't stop, like, you know, like, but
you
yeah,
got
it's
it. You
funny.
got it.
It's funny, yeah, like, and we didn't talk about that. Now I want to talk a little bit more about the purpose. What can I say now? It's your purpose in life, and let's say in this moment.
Okay, so I think that's one of the most difficult questions to answer, um, and I'm still looking for my answer. But I do think that sometimes in life we have different small purposes, even though you might have one superior one. And so for now, like my purpose right now is, well, learning all I can and just progressing, but also like giving as much as I can right now, not tomorrow, right now. And I'm like, this is why I want to do all this project that I talked to you about. Because if we give and we give and we give and we give, sometime we're gonna get back. But it's not about getting back, it's about giving. It's about leaving this world a better place than when you received it. And it changes everything, because then I'm not thinking about myself all the time. I'm thinking, how will this be valuable to you? How can I do something that will be good for you? And so that changes the game, right? Like you do it yourself. Like you're taking the time to interview people when you can just talk yourself all the time, right? You're sharing stories to help others, and that's like something really admirable. So yeah, I think that's my purpose for now.
It's a beautiful purpose. And like, I want to go a little bit behind, because now I think it's a little bit connected. For the ones that are that they are too afraid of trying about, because they are afraid about other people's opinions, parents, friends. Which is your advice?
Well, um, for that we have to do a little of introspection. And a really good teacher of mine on acting told me, if you judge someone else, that's because you have three fingers pointing towards you. So it's body, mind, and soul, something like that. But if you point at yourself, that means because you have three fingers pointing towards others. So you can't judge others without judging yourself. How do we stop judging ourselves? By being compassionate. How are we going to learn to be compassionate? By being observant and watching what we do, what we think, how we act. And once you understand yourself and what you do, and you forgive yourself and just don't put all the guilt over whatever you're doing, then you have compassion. And when you have compassion, you can have compassion for others. And once you do that, you understand that if other people tell you that you can't do something, it's probably because they believe that themselves. So it's you're not. The thing is to actually take action. You have to not judge yourself and not judge others. Because let's say you think no, I don't judge myself. Okay, but then why aren't you doing it? Well, because they're gonna judge me. They're gonna say I'm a failure, that I'm not that good, that I suck. Well, what are you? Do you know that for sure, 100%? Well, not 100%, but probably. Then, if you see that thought of like everyone's gonna say I suck, it's actually a judgment because you're thinking what they're gonna do. So you're actually judging other people about them judging you. So, like this is core for me. If if you understand that your fears, most of them, based on judgment, are based on your thoughts. You thought they were gonna think and say this about you. It's in your mind. So you have the power over it. It doesn't exist. You made it up that they were gonna criticize by judging them. It feels very natural and logical, you know. But it's we have to be conscious that we make it up. And once we do that, it doesn't matter what they think. What matters is like what you want to do, how you feel, how you help, but not what are they gonna say. Because if you worry about that, you're probably judging them and yourself. So yes, tip number one: observe yourself, learn how you feel every day, explore your senses, everything around you. Then understanding yourself, then be compassionate. And once you're compassionate, be compassionate to others, and understand that whatever they say is not that I mean, they probably feel like they want to criticize you, but it's in your mind. And if they do criticize you, it's because they're probably in a bad place themselves. So yeah.
No, man. Carlinhos, it's amazing. Like it's such a young age and it's so much knowledge coming from it. I at the same time that I was listening, I was asking to myself, maybe it was the theater that because like that helps you to give that at least to have a deeper knowledge about emotions, try to understand other people's roles, other people's perspectives.
Yes, precisely. Like my first character was a villain. It was for the play Legally Blonde. I don't know if you've heard about it. It's basically a girl that falls in love with this guy, and this guy dumps her, and so she goes to Harvard school just to be with him. But then she figures out that her life is not like for him, it's for herself, and it's like a really good story. But there's this one guy that's the villain, and he's the professor, and he actually like he's awful, like he's really mean, and that didn't go with me, right? Because I thought I like to be kind with people. So it was like a challenge, and I didn't like the character. I was like, but then I was told, like, you're judging the character. What you need to do is like research and actually understand why would a professor be like this? And then you're like, oh, so if he's like this, it's probably because his parents were like this, his friend did this, and so you start to understand why they act in a certain way. So you understand that you can't judge the character. And the same thing applies in life. If you want to have true empathy, you can't judge. You have to understand. But how are you going to understand someone else if you don't understand yourself? Right?
It's a great question. It's a great question. Great question. I will say that it's not possible. It's not possible. At least I don't know, like, understand yourself as a whole, but you have to understand part of your, like, your character. I will say, like, you have to know yourself a little bit to try, and also to have empathy. It's like you said it. It's like try to understand the behind the action of the person. And I think it's something that we should develop as a society also, like empathy, you know. Try to understand first the why behind the action. I think it's a quite important, um, yeah, quite important to take away from the interview also, like, and from theater, the theater of life.
Yes. That's the thing. Like everything can teach you something.
Exactly. No, exactly. And I think, yeah, the lesson from theater, I love it. I love it. Give you that kind of opportunity that to relate it to a person that in other way maybe will didn't have that opportunity, and after
Yeah.
take that lesson for the life, like, it's great. And now I wanted to talk a little bit about, like, the karate and the martial arts in general. Let's talk a little bit about that, please.
So I started karate since I was 3 years old. So I've been doing it for quite a lot. And it's different than a lot of sports. Like many sports teach you leadership or teamwork and different values. But karate itself is not like any different sport I've tried. It's more like a way of being. So from the first class, you're taught to talk with respect to the teachers and your classmates. You're taught to be kind, to never use it like the skill to actually hurt someone. Like you're not like in other combat sports. It's usually about like not going for a fight, but it's not such a cultural thing. And
A
in
martial
Japan,
art.
yeah, yeah, basically. Um, and from that, so you start to, once you understand, you respect your classmates, you respect your teachers. So you respect authority, right? Even though like you might not want to do the exercise, you never complain. You just go and do it because it's part of the class. You're signing up for it. So it teaches you about another important thing that has been critical for my life, which is discipline. And the word itself, I think it already sounds like pain. I don't know, many people just hear it and it's like, don't talk to me about it. But it's so fundamental in everything we do, because if we are disciplined and we keep, even though the times may become really challenging, we keep practicing, that helps us build resilience. In resilience, you've all probably heard about it. It's like the tools that the people that have overcome the most challenging things, once they overcome it, it's like a wonderful story. But the thing is, today, with immediate gratification and everything going on in the internet, like even Instagram, like who doesn't check their DMs? Like most people check them really quickly. That's because we crave instant gratification. So karate taught me patience. Karate taught me discipline. And so that's, I think I can share about that is like being constant. Let's make a calculation, okay? Let's say you read every day without exception only 10 pages of a book every day. And so let's say you read it for 365 days, I mean. So now you have 3,650 pages. Let's say you do this for, I don't know, 10 years. You have 36,500 pages. And let's say the average book is, I don't know, 300 pages. After 10 years, just by reading 10 pages a day, which is so little, you will have read 121 books. Now let's do it another way. You wake up late because you're lazy and it's the pandemic. It makes sense, right? But what if instead of waking up at 7, you woke up at 5? So you have 2 extra hours, right? Two extra hours each day, every day of the week. So that makes it 14 hours extra each week. And then you have 52 weeks a year. That makes it 728 hours you gain in 1 month. So if you multiply that times 10 years, I lost track of that.
It's a big
Let me do
number
it again.
for sure.
Let me do it again.
Oh.
Okay? It's 2 hours each day, 7 days a week.
Exactly.
For 52 weeks,
Exactly.
728 hours. If you divide that by, I don't know, 24. Yeah. So here's the calculation. If you wake up 2 hours earlier each day at 5 instead of at 7, every day for a year, you gain 30 days in a year.
Okay, 1 month.
1 month. You have 1 extra month of life every year. Imagine you did this for 10 years.
No, no,
You have 10 months. It's like
it's for 12 years, it's another year.
another year just by waking up a little bit earlier. So discipline and consistency brings great results.
Carlos, like you were saying, the discipline, the patience, and I like a lot about the calculations that you were talking about, the 2 days every day, the difference that we will make in the long run. I don't know if you listen about the compound effect.
I haven't heard.
It's exactly that you described.
Okay.
It's exactly that. It's exactly that. It's like if you, and they describe it like if you eat a donut every day, the compound effect that you will get fat. You will get fat, diabetes, like.
Yeah, okay. Yes.
If you read 10 page every day, like you were saying, you will read 101 books at the end of 10 years. Like, and knowledge, and I don't know, maybe, who knows?
Like the book you get from the knowledge you get from one book is like, imagine reading that much.
No, it's so true. It's so true. Like, I wanted to know now a little bit about your mindset and how do you describe your mindset?
One of my favorite phrases that I want to share with you, you've probably heard it. It says, it is not your aptitude that defines how far you go, but your aptitude. I'm going to say it again. It is not your aptitude that defines how far you get, but your attitude. My mindset is like, if you have a good attitude about something, then you can approach it. And once you approach it, you can learn. But if you have a bad attitude, you can never learn. Because you're gonna, if you don't want to try, if you don't have a positive approach to this new thing, or this thing that scares you, or this thing that is gonna take a lot of time and effort to do, I mean, what is the difference between the results you get of thinking positively and thinking negatively? It's probably going to be you taking action. So if you keep a fine attitude, and even in the hard times, if you're not like victimizing yourself, and that takes us, oh, this is another key thing in mindset. If you're having like optimism all the time, then you can do everything. Like you can just go on Google and learn whatever you want to learn, because it's incredible what a wonderful tool we have, and we are limited in our mind of how much we can actually achieve. Like there are so many things we can achieve, but we don't even think about the possibility because we don't think that creatively. But to start thinking creatively, you have to try out one thing. So yeah, that's first, good attitude. And second, I think Tom Blue talked about this. I don't know, have you heard about him, Tom Blue? It's um, I'll send you the page on Instagram. But what he says is, if you take responsibility for everything in your life, everything, the good and the bad, then you can change it. And let me explain. In a movie or in a play, who's the main character? The protagonist. And the protagonist, what he does is he does things. He takes action. He's responsible for the outcome. The protagonist is going to be the person that is going to decide whether or not to face the dragon and enter into the castle. In the same way, if we don't victimize ourselves, oh, I can't do it because I don't have the money, or my parents say this, or my friends say this, or I have too much work, then that's a victim mindset. But if you have a protagonist, a responsible mindset, you can actually take action.
What is success for you?
Success. What a question. I think there are many definitions for success, but for me right now, I think the definition of success is being happy. And I don't mean being joyful. I don't mean necessarily being ecstatic. I mean being happy. And I'm actually learning about the definition of happiness itself. But I do know it's not something you achieve by doing things, because happiness is not something on the outside, it's within. So if we put our happiness, let's say, when I get enough money to buy that house, I'm gonna be happy. And so you work and you work and you hustle and you work and you work, and then you buy the house, and you're happy for you're excited for 1 month, 2 months, and then you're all sad again. Buying the house, buying the car, getting that deal, getting that promotion, dating that girl, whatever, it doesn't make you happy. It makes you feel emotions that are joy and, I don't know, energy. There's other words for it. But it's all pleasure. It's all small things. It's like eating pizza. Who doesn't love pizza, right? But if we eat pizza one day after another for 2 months, we start to even feel sick when we smell it, right? The same thing happens with happiness. If we do something because we think it makes us feel happy, and we do it, 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 and it loses its flavor. Hasn't that happened to you? Like you do something so much that you love and you just get sick of it.
Exactly.
That's because we're putting our happiness on that specific action or that thing or that achievement. Happiness, true happiness, is a state inside. Um, but it's a challenging topic. I think what I would recommend is to actually understand this, do a lot of research. But that's why you have to ask yourself the big questions. Who am I? What do I want? Where do I want to get? What makes me happy? Like truly happy. The happiness as itself is a state where you're like plentiful. You're serene. I don't know if that's a word. It's like no matter what happens, you're gonna be happy. But that doesn't mean that you don't feel sad. That's why I say it's a complex definition, because we confuse it with joy and rejoice. It's kind of different. There are many definitions, but the definition I have, it's like just no matter what, you're good. And to reach that point, you have to take care of yourself, eat healthy, be compassionate.
Meditation, yoga, like we were saying.
And all of that. All of that. And it's a journey. I talk about that on my first video. I only have this one video on my profile yet because I'm working on editing the others. And I say this, happiness is not something you reach, it's a way of being. It's a journey. We have to learn about it. Like you've heard so many times about the pursuit of happiness. Because that itself is... So yes, I kind of lost myself. What
was the question?
Yes.
What is for you success?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
but I think it's, tell me please.
Complex answer, but just being happy, truly happy, going to bed knowing that you progressed, even if it's a little bit, even if you read one page on the book, because if you keep moving, then that's good enough. Like don't judge yourself for not building Tesla, you know, like at your point, at your story, who you are from there, make sure you go a little bit forward, at least in one aspect of your life each day. And if you go to bed with that, that's another definition of success. But the third definition of success I would give is going to bed knowing that you made an impact and helped the world. Because to do that, you have to be good with yourself. You can't give love to someone if you don't love yourself first. It would be attachment and attention, but not love necessarily. You can't give money to someone if you're barely eating, right? But if you take care of yourself, it's kind of implicit. I mean, it's not necessarily the case. There are people that don't have anything and they give everything they have. But in a way that I understand and share, it's that, like, no matter where you are, contribute, right? Because that's it. I mean, if we do something good for others, that helps to our joy, our own personal happiness. I don't know, I think it's important. Imagine that every person you know did this, that every person thought about helping others truly and not judging, you know? There's this song, imagine all the people living, I don't know it, but I think it's called Imagine, right?
Yeah, John Lennon.
John Lennon.
Yeah.
So yeah, imagine. And there's this phrase I really like, and you've probably seen it too. Small people doing small things in small places, I don't know, can make a big change.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely, and I would totally agree with you in the sense that like we have in aviation, I think one comparison that I think we should use to life, that how can we should first put our oxygen mask and after help the others. You
Whoa!
see it? You see it?
That's excellent. Wow.
It's very
Wow.
practical.
Yeah. Smart. Wow. You,
You see?
I'm surprised. That's a
No.
very good reference.
Yeah. And it's
Precisely.
quite clearly. Yeah, it's very clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really. Yeah. First you put yours. First. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Nice.
Perfect. No, no. I'm liking a lot this conversation. Let me tell you. Now I want to ask you about daily habits. If you have something, some daily habits, what you think about daily habits? Which advice you will give me to start today?
Okay. Yeah, sure. Habits, they are very powerful in both senses. They can build an empire or they can destroy one.
Oh,
So, what I like to do is I grab a piece of paper, and this is considering every thought about who I am, what I want to do, who I want to be. And then write down like all the goals I want to have, long term, medium term, and short term. Usually, what I'll do is I'll grab a big piece of paper and I'll draw them so it's easier to see. And I see like what do I have to do if I want to be there, and then I start to design the plan to the simplest form. So the simplest form, for example, let's say I want to become master chef. What's the first thing I have to do? Learn how to cook scrambled eggs. So if I do that, oh, okay, I progressed. And it's little, it's small, achievable. There's this thing called SMART, specific, um, measurable.
measurable.
I don't know what the A is. I don't
Uh,
see.
I can check it, but yeah, yeah, yeah. It's from.
Yeah, you can probably pop up the letters, right? Or
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah, yeah. It's yeah, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based.
yes. So once you have like this huge timeline, which you have to be really, really, really careful because sometimes we live for those timelines. It's not necessarily something you have to achieve. It's just a guide to keep you on track, right?
Mhm.
So one habit, according to this method, is every day, every night, every night before you go to bed, write down what did I do today and what did I learn, and every morning wake up and what do I want to do today. Or you could do both, like at night, what would I like to do tomorrow? And when you wake up, take at least, I don't know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes to plan your day. Like just doing this for 10 minutes can change the whole outcome, because in the morning you're fresh, you're like ready to start, probably in a good mood, and you write down all these things, and as you go by through the day, you're probably going to be, I'm tired of school, or this happened at work. So you just get it turns out to be 5 p.m. and you're like just like, I'm going to watch Netflix, right? You don't want to plan at that time. But if you have a list with small, specific, attainable goals that are related to something that makes you happy, you're like, oh, well, it sucked, but I'm finally home and I'm going to do this. But if you don't write it in the morning, it's probably not going to happen. You're probably just going to watch TV. So that's habit number one, planning your day. And this may not be fulfilled. It doesn't matter. Just write down what you did and what you didn't do at night and what you want to do tomorrow. Second habit is drink water. Very important. Third habit, meditate in the morning and if you can in the night. Why is especially in the night because in the morning if you do yoga it helps you throughout the day, but if at night, like we're all tired and stressed and we have all these emotions, if you take a break before sleeping for 10 minutes, focus on your breath, relax, that can actually make your sleep so much better because you're like not as tense as you were when you went to sleep, and that will help you wake up more fresh and ready for a better tomorrow. Do you understand? It's like giving yourself a massage. Like meditating is like that, like relaxing, slowing your breath. It has so many different benefits that I'm not going to go into, but it helps you sleep better. And that over a long period of time makes your whole life better. Just taking 10 minutes to meditate at night because it relaxes your muscles. That's like the direct effect. There are many other benefits, but that's it. What other habit? I think one habit that has really helped me, but it's kind of radical and difficult to do, is not eating any sugar at all. Like if you eat dessert, it's okay if you eat something that has sugar, but if you're making yourself a lemonade, I never, for the past few years, have put sugar on my drinks if I can. And at the beginning, it's really difficult because we all crave sugar. But later, after like 6 months, you're free from it. And you can, like one thing I actually did was imagine this, I don't know, this cup, it's chocolates, right? What I did was I put chocolates next to my bed. My favorite chocolates, really, really good. But then every day when I woke up, I saw the chocolates there. And every day I went to my room, I saw the chocolates there. And every night I saw it. I could eat them anytime. Nobody was watching, right? But the challenge was if I have the chocolates here, nobody's watching, but I can control myself and not eat them. Then when I'm somewhere else and I see a delicious donut, if I beat this in my bedroom, this is going to be easy. So I think that's actually pretty cool thing. I mean, it depends if you can resist it. Some other people need to hide it. But I like to face fear straight in the eyes and be like, get out of here. I'm going to do it anyways. So yeah, not any sugar. That's a good habit for your health. Another habit, let's see. Reading at least 10 pages a day. Just 10 pages. Like, it won't take you too much. And also, I've actually been able to accomplish this for the past, 2 months. But before I couldn't. It was like once a week, or it's actually helping one person a day. Like one person, one time, each day. And if you're looking for this, your mind will generate so many opportunities. And let me tell you a simple example of this. If you're going on a car with your friends, you're like playing spotting the car. You're like, whoever spots, taxis, will win more money or whatever, right? And so your brain starts to look for yellow cars like crazy. And it's easier to see them because you're actually looking for them. But otherwise you wouldn't see them even though they're there. The same thing happens when, let's say, a family member gets a car and you see that car. And all of a sudden you start seeing that same version of the car everywhere in the street. I don't know if that has happened. Um, that's that's because it's related to the mindset. So if you're thinking, how can I help one person? Then, since it's a habit, it becomes a habit. Then it becomes natural, and you just do it without even thinking about it. It just you're like so quick and help, 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 help. And then when you go to bed, you're like, dude, I helped 20 people today. Wow, I never thought I could have helped one, and now look at this. That's the goal. I don't know. I think that's about it. Doing exercise is important, but yoga, I would recommend it a lot. I'll probably gonna be, I'm probably gonna be doing a training on my Instagram or YouTube just to share it with you, and you can share it with your audience in case you have any questions. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, that's it.
Like me, yeah, because at the meanwhile, it has some questions that appears. So I like the idea that you were describing about. So you do like a kind of visualization, and after you define, or let's say the goal, and after you define the plan to achieve the goal. Let give me an example where you use it that in your life for for me to understand and to see how it's possible. You see how it's real.
Yeah. Yes. So one example is for example in high school, in my first year, I told you I was in robotics, and I went into robotics, but I didn't really know much about myself. So I wanted to like grow and learn as much as I could. And in the second year, one person went to me and they told me, I think you can be a leader. I think you can inspire other people. I was like, yeah, sure. But then I became so curious about what is leadership? What is true leadership? What is how can you help a team? How can you inspire them? How can you work for them? What's the difference between being a boss and being a leader, right? And so later I was like, I want to be the robotics team leader. And so I wrote it on the carton on my room. I did this every year. When I was starting the year, I wrote down in circles like my goals. And then on different pages, I wrote down like what would I have to do in order to be there. And in the page, let's see, I'm gonna try to draw this for you. So you can cut it and put it on. It's a tree diagram. I think that's what you call it. Being Tom Cruise. Let's say I wanted to be Tom Cruise. I want to be Tom Cruise. What do I need to do? And so I'm going to be like, well, I need to learn how to act. Okay. I need to learn how to, I don't know,
English, for example.
I need to learn English. If I want to be him, I need to do gymnastics. And I write all the things that I can think of like this, like a circle, like full. That's why I take a big page. And then after writing that, I go like, okay, what do I need to know in order to learn how to act? Well, I need to read. Oh, okay. I need to watch YouTube videos. I need to probably get into some school. I need to talk to actors to learn from them. And so I read all the different possibilities, and then I'm like, simplify it. Like once you talk to a school or to an actor about what you should read, get the book and set a simple goal. Read 10 pages about this acting book. But if you do that for each of the different sections that are related to your goal, for example, let's say I wanted to be an actor in musicals, which is something I would like to do because I have fun on it. What do I need to know? I need to learn how to dance. I need to learn how to act. I need to learn how to sing. I need to grow as a person, so I don't judge the characters. So it's all related. I think that anything you do in life can be correlated if you find a way to link it. So I do this master maps, and you touched a very powerful subject that I like: visualization. I think visualization is so powerful. It's something I I struggle to believe how strong it actually is. Like if every day you visualize yourself being or doing somewhere for 2 minutes, I don't know what happens. I can't explain it, but things start to happen that can help you achieve or get there. Um, yeah.
Did you had some experience with visualization?
Yes. Um, for example, it's a leadership group on my school, and they do camps, and it's pretty fun. But you have to be how it works is like you work on the group, and if you excel, you get to the table, that directive table, and on the directive table, you get to be like president, vice president, or other positions. And there was this group, and I really wanted to be president. But on my second year, so I only had on my third year, I wasn't even on the directive table, but I still visualized myself, and I still learned about leadership, and I still talked to the staff, and something amazing happened. Like the day that they were gonna assign the positions, um, the three candidates that were gonna be like the chiefs of the group, they said they weren't gonna do it. I mean, they might have whatever reason, I don't know, I haven't asked them, but three people plus other people were like ahead. And I wasn't even on the table. And I got it. But that's like,
Yeah, exactly. It's like
it's weird. It's weird, but it happens.
yeah. I think when you leave it, it became more real. You understand
Yeah.
me?
Yeah, there are people that say, I need to see it before I believe it. I go the other way around. I need to believe it, and then I see it.
Exactly.
It's like Walt Disney. If you can dream it, you can make it, or something like that.
Yeah. I think the one that you said it's perfect, really. I need to believe it to see it. And I think yeah, it's really nice one. Now I wanted to ask you a little bit about what is the legacy that you want to leave behind?
Legacy. Wow. Well, I haven't thought about that much, but I do know, as I told you before, I want to leave the place, the planet, in a better place than where it is now. I think that's for sure. I want to be known for being kind and loving people and helping. Um, that's about it. I mean, because I can become, I don't know, I could become an actor or a great singer or a great engineer. And it's so cool. But I think it's way more profound than identifying with one profession. I don't think professions should define you. So when you ask someone, what do you study, or what do you do in life? Oh, I'm a chemist, and I'm a chemist. I work in this company and I do this and that. So what happens is people identify with their jobs. They take it as an identity. But what I say is the other, it's not like that. You're not your job. You're so many things. You're son, you're a husband, you're a wife, you're a student, you're a learner, you're like engineer, you know how to garden. I don't know, you can be so many things. It's all here. But if you identify with just one your whole life, you're limiting yourself. It's like saying, I don't know. Yeah, I could never build that because I studied poetry or literature. No, you can actually be great at literature and learn engineering. But if you identify with your career, you're always gonna be like, no, I can never do math, or the other way around. Like, I could never write poems. Boring. No, it's not like that. And and then you can experiment many things because you're not identified with something, so you can explore. You can be and do anything, like your podcast.
Oh, yeah, it's, I think it's, yeah, it's like you said it. Don't put yourself inside a box. Don't
Yes.
limit yourself.
You should put that like on a quote later.
I have a lot. I think I will take a lot from this interview, not just this one. We have a couple of them to do.
Oh,
I
great, great.
think I wanted to know first. I am a big reader. I already understood for the way that you talk that you are also a big reader. Which book you will advise me and the listeners and viewers to read, and why also?
Yes. I think a book called How to Make Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie is a really good book. It it's pretty self-explanatory, and I think it's wonderful because it teaches us how to not think about ourselves in a more logical way, I think, and it talks about human relationships in such a smart way that it really helps. That's why I would recommend it. It's like if you it teaches you everything from approaches to how you do things. Yes, that would be the one I recommend.
I love it. And I want also to know now, what are your projects, new projects, something that you want to share with me and the rest of the listeners and the viewers?
Well, I definitely love music, so I want to keep learning about that. I'm not a musician, but I don't identify as a musician, but I do like music. As the same with acting, I want to keep exploring, keep learning, so I know myself better, and that maybe I can act in some movie or like a play. It's something I like to do as a hobby. I also want to like find ways in which I can start to gain money and but things I like. So, and this is mostly because if I want to gain financial independence um, as soon as possible, so that like I mean it on a sense of life, like not from my parents. I mean it like if I truly don't have to worry about money all the time, then I know that that will probably help me in the future focus on different things. And it's never too late. Like always finding a side hustle. Some things will work, others won't. So that's one of my projects is I'm making an animation page and I make animations for people, like really simple. Um, and yes, the most important project I think I have is this Instagram page where, well, I have it on all different social media platforms, but like since I'm I'm so fortunate to have these points of view about life and to have gone through very specific things that have helped me learn and look at life differently and mature. Um, I have like a duty to give it away. I want to help, 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 because I know that if I do or do not do one of these videos or share something, there's this guy or girl in his house that is feeling very sad, that if they watch that video, they could change something about their perspective, their feelings, I don't know, whichever way, and that may change their day, and eventually that may impact their lives. Now I have a responsibility. I have to use my skills to help others. It's not that I have to, but I want to, right? Um, so yes, helping, sharing, learning, improving. That's, I think, the most important project I have yet. And yeah, I think that's about it.
I wanted to also, yeah, I think it's already a lot to do. Like you were saying, if with each project that you have, if you can change one person's life, for me, at my eyes, it's already mission accomplished, you know? At my eyes,
Totally.
and I really believe that you are able to do it. Like the way that you express yourself, the way that you talk, it's maintaining the discipline and having the patience that we were talking.
Thank you. Thank you. You as well. Like, you have such an amazing skill to interview. Like, I feel so comfortable. It's like, I don't know. You do it so good. You do it so good.
Thank you, thank you. Now, I like you were talking so about social media, about Instagram, where the people can find you. What are the social medias you are, where you are?
I am, as you can see, uh, 1 second
No problem.
here, Carlinhos Ferreira on my username. Um, and I'm like Carlinhos Ferreira act on Instagram, but I think Facebook, Snapchat, uh, tweet, Twitter, TikTok, it's all like that. I can send you a picture with all of them,
Mhm.
so you can like just pop it out with the usernames, so it's easier.
I will use the link. Yes, you have a link tree. I will use
Oh
it
yes,
so the people can have all the social media that they want. And I
that's
will put
perfect.
also the Instagram if they want to DM you direct. I think it's also a
Yeah,
nice option. So
yeah.
to end, any last thoughts, any last advice that you want to share with me and the rest of the viewers and listeners?
Yes. Two things. I think whatever you're thinking you could be doing, but you're not doing it, go ahead and just do it. Like you're never gonna be prepared. Go through yourself. Like Nike says, just do it. That's first. And second is I guess this applies for both of us. If anyone, I mean this because I say this a lot and I don't get that many DMs, even though I like later people tell me they did want to talk. If you want to talk or you have any objectives in life that you don't know how to progress or what to do, or if you have an issue, like anything you want or need help with, I think we both are like really willing to help you out and just chat with you. So don't doubt about DMing, right? Because I think a lot of people just feel like, they're not gonna care. Why should I waste my time, right? So yeah, advice, talk to the people that are telling you that they're gonna be there to help you. Yeah.
I think you are so right, man. Like, and after it's like you said, it sometimes it's just seeing life with another glasses, with another perspective, can give another look. Like you were saying,
Yes.
you know, like a, I think like yeah. I think if a person has 5 minutes with you, it will be a bump of energy that maybe will help him to have a different day, you know.
Yes.
So,
um, oh,
please,
and I remember the last piece of advice.
please.
I prefer, it's a phrase, I prefer to work every day on my dream than to dream when I work. Work on your dreams so that these dreams may become objectives and goals. Work on those goals so those goals become your reality. That's it.
Man, thank you so much, man. Carlinhos, thank you so much again. Guys, don't forget to go to his page, check him, send him a DM, and don't forget also to follow us in all the social media around. One more time, my friend. Thank you so much
Thank you,
for the
Vasco. Thank
time
you.
and from the wisdom and knowledge. Thank you.
No, thank you for your time. It was a great opportunity. Thank you for giving it to me. Yeah.
Thank you, my friend.